There you go, that's what our last minute stoppage time winner sounds like at Everton Stadium. There's been a lot of crowd noise there, I apologise. We played 102 minutes in the end, but Everton got the win. Great turnaround in the second half after a pretty licious first half. An unbelievable let off when that ball is Jack Grealish went in at the end. Fantastic. What a win. Credit to the manager who made the changes at our time. Alcaraz was really good when he came on. The very key one actually was when Michael Keane had to go off and Garner went to right back, and Tim Abuna when he came on was fantastic, just getting the ball, carrying it, being brave in possession. Obviously won the penalty, but was really good for half an hour. And yeah, they turned it around. Just it was so full when that Grealish goal went in. I mean, don't get me wrong, for long spells that game Everton were really dreadful, but they get over the line in the end. Yeah, singing the blues is playing now. It's been a good weekend. Wow, what a finish, unbelievable. Yeah, the lads did great there. We'll be back at Denbigh Castle. Well, I imagine we'll be very raucous. Denbigh Castle. Just a mad game. Great, the first ever late goal winner at Everton Stadium. We're back soon to what everybody else has to say about it, but yes, get in, what a win, marvellous. We are back outside the Denbigh Castle. Everyone delighted after a 2-1 win for the Blues. We've got Mark Mosey, Keith Tomlin and Rob Fisher with us to just enjoy a late winner at our new ground. More people might come and join us as it goes on, but Rob, I'll come to you first, mate. Fucking hell, how good was that?
It was brilliant. The last week of injury time is, I think we've changed our perspective on injury time since the Merseyside derby, haven't we? But yeah, that was some turnaround, and I think full credit, they call him Dithering Dave sometimes, but full credit to the subs he made at half time. And although Jack got the winner and got, as we know, Sky just love to be publicist man of the match, I think there, and I think he's even.
Did he get man of the match on Sky?
Yeah, but he even quoted that even an Everton player wasn't man of the match. He said Adam Wharton for Palace, which I'm sure we'll come on to some of their players in a bit, but it was man of the match. But I don't think he was even our player of the match, and I think we'll come on to the subs and especially Charlie Alcaraz and how he changed the game. But yeah, it was just great, and to have, we talk about moments at the new stadium and things like that, and I think injury time winner, the South Stand. I'm the other end myself, but from what I've heard, that could be, the moment that really kicks off that new stadium. But it was an excellent turnaround, good mental capacity from everyone, because we were second best for a lot of that game.
Rob was very, very measured there, Keith. That was just brilliant, wasn't it? Just everything you want from that new ground, your main signing in the summer, the player we all love the most, in front of that stand, deep into injury time against a team who quite fancy themselves after a million weeks unbeaten. It was just absolutely boss.
I mean, I hope the club have had the foresight to have a camera just trained on the South Stand because I need to see the footage of that fall. It was feral. It was everything that Goodison was in terms of celebrating an Everton goal. I thought the extra leg room in the stands would avoid shin bruises. Absolutely not a bit of it. Mine's are in bits. You're right. Do you know what? Everything about that goal is just... It made for a perfect moment, didn't it? Like the Beto header that was saved. And I feel bad for Beto there because he's done everything right. He's got up, he's won it, he's headed it down to make it difficult. Henderson's made a great save. And then everyone's sort of like getting ready to go, oh no, boo. And then next thing you know, the ball was just in the back of the net. And I don't think anyone realised how the ball got in the back of the net until they'd seen a replay of it. But yeah, I mean, fortuitous goal. But I think on the balance of the pressure at the time and how we were playing, you can't really say it was undeserved. Arguably, Palace should have been out of sight at half time. Yeah. They should have been 3 or 4. They battered us. We never kicked the ball first half. But the second half, like Rob said, Moyes was brave enough, made the subs at half time, and it's completely changed the complexion. And you could tell at the end, at 1-1, they were hanging on. They were clinging on desperately to get out of there with a point. So I don't think a win flatters us there, really. I think it's quite deserving on the balance of the second half, certainly.
Go on, Rose.
I don't know if we did quite enough to justify winning it, and I'm trying to put myself in the body and mind of a Crystal Palace fan right now, having been in that situation so many times. I know we say it a little bit tongue-in-cheek at times, but that was the most incredibly Everton 45 minutes of all time in terms of missing glaring chances to go further ahead, giving away a penalty, and then your right back smashing one in off their star striker to go in at the end. And I'm not resenting Everton the opportunity to have a bit of good fortune for once, because we have been on the receiving end of that so many times. I think the word that Keith mentioned was brave, and the more I think about it, David Moyes probably just earned that result because of the ability to make decisions at key times. And we've had to go at previous managers, and Moyes being one of them in particular, for not making impactful changes earlier in games or earlier in seasons or whatever it might be. He's rolled the dice for us there today, and it's come up trumps. Large parts of the game were pretty awful, I don't think we've been quite bad enough to drag out the phrase of papering over the cracks, but there are definitely elements of the side that need a lot of work from a month to month progression point of view, as opposed to how are we going to claw this result on this particular day. The lads who came on, Beto, Alcaraz in particular, they just made it difficult. And I think that the annoying part for me in the first half is that we were just really easy to play against. And be it Goodison or Bromley-Moore or whatever, Everton should be really, really horrible to play against in my mind. You can argue tongue-in-cheek about how you want our build-up play to be, whether it's slow and progressive or get it out wide or be, smash the opposition in the face, whatever it is. We just need to be really, really horrible to play against. It probably needed a couple of refereeing decisions and ultimately the penalty that got everyone going today. But it's important that when we do get a sniff of this could be one of those Everton days, that both fans and players are both aligned in that let's make this happen.
It did feel like that happened after
100%, yeah. And as Keith said, Palace started showing signs of maybe we're happy with a point here, and at the point where they did that and we suddenly realised that that the South Stand was sucking the ball in, then you thought, well, there's probably only going to be one team that wins this. But there's still work to do. First half was really, really frustrating, and I think on the back of the West Ham game today, I think we all wanted a bit of a reaction. We obviously had the new players coming into the side, Dublin in particular, and we just thought we want to see something a bit different going forward, and we never got that. But we're at our best when we're at our most raw almost, and it was just sheer aggression in the second half, and I think that's absolutely the Everton that we want to see, and it's the Everton that most opposition fans and players think I can't be arsed with them, and you know we just want to be awful for other teams, and we were that today.
Make Everton horrible again.
I mean, it's you know. We looked easy to play against, and I think the epitome of that in the first half was when Tierney Barry tries to knock it round Gahey at the back, and he might have even laughed going back towards his own goal as he shrugged our striker off the ball. It can't be like that. And I think that was the worry with the new stadium, and that everything would be quite nice for opposition teams to come here and just play the football. And you know, they're not quite as close to us here anymore, and it's not quite as hostile. But we rekindled that in the second half, and I think a lot of people have probably walked away from the Hill Dickinson today thinking this is getting closer to home now, and that's where we need to get over the next couple of months.
Yeah, like with that in mind though, like obviously we all sit in like different parts of the ground. Like what was that like last gasp goal like for you? Like in terms of like what happened, like you said, like because it's the first one really like I've properly lost it at, like because I think like the first game of the season, like obviously everyone's up for it and like it's like a big moment, but you're still like very much with the person next to you, like very much with your dad. But like for me, like before it comes to you guys, like that was the first time like, I've like hugged strangers today and like nearly felt like I was nearly going to fall over. Was it like a bit like that for you guys as well?
Yeah, definitely. The fella next to me, he'd been away for the first night. I missed one. I was in a different area of the ground. So we introduced each other to each other today, and then by the end we were all hugging. I'd never met him before in my life, but that's the way, and we know that's the way. I've done that plenty of times, but it did feel like I think everyone's getting their bearings and obviously not losing a game. I know we've had a couple of frustrating draws, but not losing a game, staying unbeaten, keeps that goodwill going. We've got a tough couple of games obviously after the international break, but we know with Spurs, we did it last season. You know, the game's coming up. We shouldn't have any fear of playing at home, and I think the players have settled in quite well, to be honest. And as you say, I think talking about being horrible and doing that's exactly what Charlie Alcaraz. He didn't do anything. Yeah. He did do a couple of good bits of really good skill and passing, and one shot Henderson made a really good save in there, and the other one nearly got into the upper south. But yeah, he just got in their faces. He closed them down and just did everything we weren't doing in the first half, and that really made a difference. And you can criticise Beto. I thought Barry actually started quite well, as in he got in the game a little bit, he got some touches, but then it seemed like he goes wandering looking for the ball and just loses track of what he's doing, whereas Beto tends to stay more, right? He seems to link up with Alcaraz a bit better, and Dye on the right seems to be better as well, and everything just seems to click a little bit more, but it just pushed us up the pitch and got them in their faces, and we know from that's Everton teams we know for a long time, and you just feel more comfortable with it, and once we got on top, as Keith said, you felt like there was only going to be one winner. But yeah, I mean, Palace will be ruining that, as Mark said, in their eyes. Like, it's probably a little bit the other way around if West Ham had got a winner on Monday.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? They probably would have said, we were worse for the 90 minutes completely on Monday. But yeah, they'd probably be the same, that they were on top of the end there. And you've seen so many Premier League games won like that now as well.
Yeah, I won yesterday, of course, Stamford Bridge as well. Just keep like just like to labour the point a bit more on the goal. Like it was so weird, wasn't it? Because I think like just like the sensation, like physical sensation, like when Njai gets the ball on the right hand side. There you go.
Good timing. You mentioned Stamford Bridge.
You can sort of hear, you sort of feel like yourself taking like a big intake of breath, can't you? When Njai gets that ball, you're holding your breath. Beto's the header, misses it, and like. You sort of exhale, don't you, when the ball's like in the box? You think like, oh, they're going to clear it now. And then all of a sudden, like it's in the back of the net. It was such a weird goal, like just like the way it was sort of constructed and celebrated.
Well, it's like it was all of the best Goodison noises, wasn't it? Because like at some point in the build-up, there was a turn, and then as the ball comes out to Ndiaye out wide, you have that sort of muted but very audible. Go on, and then he puts the ball. And then Beto's header saved, and everyone's and then 2 seconds later,
I think people look away. You looked away, didn't you? And then all of a sudden you saw the net.
I didn't see the clearance that came off Grealish because the people in front of me were still on the way down from jumping up for the header. I think the only way to describe it is it's not just a noise; it's a feeling, it's a sensation. Like, I felt that goal noise go through my ears.
Yeah.
Like, the whole thing is vibrating almost. And I think maybe that's a testament to how the stadium was designed. They did say during the whole process they wanted to keep the noise in and help develop an atmosphere with it. I mean, you saw the first half, and you know yourselves, and it happened to Goodison as well. The first half was dead. It was flat. It was so you could hear individual shouts and stuff. That second half was just raucous, wasn't it? Like, everything about it was...
From the penalty to the end,
raw Everton. But I mean, even before that, like Rob said about Alcaraz closing down, that got the fans on their feet. Some of the referees' decisions that he made get the fans up and riled, and well done to him today for being absolutely baffling, because
I think we got a few good ones for him today, to be fair.
Can we just I just want to have a minute on the one where Garner and their number 10 get booked.
Yeah. That got it, Sky.
Right? And he steps back maybe 5 paces, and the referee tells him to get back further, and he doesn't move.
Oh, he was 5 yards away, wasn't
he? And
then
the ref goes off, like, as in, we're just going to play on. I can't do anything about it. The linesman then signals the referee to say he's not 10 yards back. The referee looks over and then just waves at Garner to play on. And it's like... I have never seen.
Can't be arsed with this now.
I've never seen a collective head loss from around 12,000 people, like, in one isolated area, over a matter of 5 yards. It was just absolute bewilderment and anger and fury, and I think that was one of the sparks that got everyone going.
Definitely was.
Yeah. We need moody decisions to shape us. We love it. We love a moody tackle, a shit referee decision, and we're off. We're ready for a fight. We're ready for a war, and that's what we got today.
I actually think I don't mind. I don't mind the game being dead in the first half and the crowd being dead in the first half, because we're a very honest fan base. That's an accurate reflection of what we think about this game. And I know that there's a massive paradigm here between, like, a really dull first half and a very quiet fan base, and then chaos in the second half. But maybe that's why we all speak so passionately about these moments, is because we will let the players know when things aren't good enough. We will stay quiet when we think that more is required. And,
it was like proper boo, wasn't it, at half time today?
Yeah, and I'm not one to boo the team off it, and unless it's been absolutely apocalyptically bad. But we are ultimately a very honest reflection of what we think about our team, and the players have always just said as much. In terms of the goal itself, it's very different for me this year, and I'm a lot higher, so I feel like we've got almost a bird's eye view of things that are happening.
Yeah.
The steepness of that south stand means that as the ball gets played into Denbigh and the cross gets clipped in, you almost feel like you're on top and you're almost heading that ball in yourself. Yeah, apart from I fucking scored. I haven't quite decided whether it was a really poor miss or a good save.
I think he's got to bet. My dad was saying he thought it was a great header, and
he's done everything right.
Yeah. He's got to bury that.
I stand by that is like the first great moments of that stadium if he properly Amakachis that into the back of the net.
Oh, it's still great moments afterwards.
It is, but we're all celebrating a block now, so just to bring everyone down. But no, in terms of the sensation and the noise and things when it goes in, we know that it's obviously going to be a little bit different purely based on numbers this year. But I think everyone's been crying out for that kind of opportunity to have a bit of an emotional outburst in that ground. When everyone talks about will it be different, or is Goodison the same, etc., etc. What we're all basically saying is, when we win a derby or beat United at home or score in the last minute, is it going to feel quite as emotional and quite as frantic as what Goodison always has? And it definitely was. And you're right in that there was the very split moment in between the save and Grealish touching the ball. You thought, it was just about long enough to convince you that walking back into town was the right decision, but still offered you that chance to be, we might actually score here. But I'm sure Crystal Palace fans will probably point the finger at their right back for smashing it against them, but it's just one of those chaotic moments that notoriously goes against Everton, but actually worked for us today.
I would say that's a decision you make when you've been travel away on a Thursday night before in injury time at the next league game. You see it, like they just go, they've got time, they're just tired, so they think, just too fit, and then it's Grealish and we get away with it. But
maybe there's a bit of that today. I know a lot of people complaining around me in the first half of, these lads have been to Poland 3 days ago, we should be really on top of these. The Premier League players are fit athletes. Maybe it takes until 75, 80 before you think we can really stand on their neck here and really get at them. But we've played against plenty of sides in the past where we haven't taken that initiative late on in games. So credit to Moyes for kind of enthusing in the team that you need to stick with this until the end, as cliche as it is, because these lads are going to get tired and they are going to drag Mateta off, and the pain in the arse number 10 who he brought off. There's a lot of good players in that side who, when they go out at 75, 80, you need to be right at it and able to take the game by the scruff of the neck, and we actually did that for once today.
The changes, Keith, obviously we talked about Beto and Alcaraz making a difference. I think probably for me the most important one was the one that was kind of forced on Moyes when Keane went off, and obviously O'Brien goes into centre back, James Garner goes to right back, and Tim Iroegbunam comes on, and he's a funny player, isn't he, Iroegbunam? Because every now and then he just gives you a glimpse of a really good footballer, and we got that and loads more today. He was getting the ball deep, beating players, driving us forward, and all the little bits of his game that you see sometimes, we can do that quite well, it all just came together really well in that last half an hour.
I think do you know what? He's a very good footballer. I think if you played him in a five-a-side team, you wouldn't get the ball off him. His close control is incredible, but I just think he's almost overawed by the occasion and scared to make a mistake, so he goes safe, and sometimes that doesn't come off and it looks bad. Today he seemed to sort of buy into what was happening with the team in general, and got the ball and tried to carry it forward. He was playing intricate little passes with Alcaraz at times that were just wonderful to watch.
Straight run for the penalty as well.
Yeah, incredible run, because that the Palace fullback thought he had that all day long. He had no idea that Iroegbunam was coming in behind him. So take a gamble, go for it, and obviously it's paid off in terms of the penalty. I think the other thing that substitution did for us was it removed what has become a very obvious sore point for Everton in Jake O'Brien at right back. It's not a criticism on Jake. I mean, there are criticisms of Jake O'Brien. There are a few things where he needs to be better. He gave away a stupid free kick in the first half where the ball's going out for a throw-in and the guy's going to shepherd out for a throw-in. All right, fine. Just puts two hands in his back, and now they've got a free kick on the edge of the box. Why do that? You just got to be smarter than that. My big issue with it is his physical limitations, in that he's not a quick player. He's not going to get round the outside, and he can't cross the ball. So he's not even a square peg in a round hole. He's like someone's just taken a hammer and tried to smash through the square hole and got
massive centre-half head through the hole.
And it's become increasingly obvious that it's not working, and everything sort of breaks down. And I think that's why Dibbling didn't really get much of into the game today.
He a run, let's go beyond them, didn't he?
Yeah, he was a few times he was looking for that run on beyond, and it just wasn't forthcoming. So he's having to drop back. He's not playing his natural game. I assume that's his natural game based on the 20 minutes I've seen of him. So once we got Garner there, and I know your sentiments on James Garner, and we differ massively.
Really bad today, by the way, but let's not go there.
I thought he was crap in midfield. I thought he was very. He was composed, but he was negative. There was no drive. There was no attempt. He went to right back, and all of a sudden he's looking for the ball. He's getting around the outside. He puts them crosses in. I mean, he had one in the first half. One of the crosses he put in the first half for
the free kick allows a play
for Tierno Barry, where it's on a plate. It's just begging to be finished off. I haven't seen it back as a replay, so I don't know how close he's got to it. But then, like you say, he does have baffling moments, like the free kick, where everyone's sort of lined up on the 6-yard box, so he chips it to the goal line. I mean, why would you do that? Voice is going now. I'm so irate. Voice is going now.
So John's come on and getting emotional.
I think, do you know what? I think once he moved to right back, and we have to be brutal here. If he's not going to play Nathan Patterson, and he's not going to play Nathan Patterson, he's not going to play Seamus Coleman, because we know Coleman's injuries and like age limitations and stuff now. So the obvious move from now until January is you play James Garner at right back. It's the only possible solution.
Even Abuna would carry on doing that. Yeah. That's the thing, isn't
it?
Well,
I think he might have done it if that big German lad hadn't done a Gabam and played for 20 minutes and then went missing. I hope is he all right? Does anyone know if he's up?
What a great 20 minutes.
What a great 20 minutes. But then Gabam had a great 20 minutes at Palace on the first day of the season in the previous season strips. So I think maybe this international break's what we need. Get that German lad back.
Yeah, I think him and Brad
known.
the German lad.
Merlin, his name is, isn't it?
That's I can't even give him his name right now because he's not played for long enough. Yeah. He's not earned his name on the back of the shirt yet. It's still on there in chalk. We got a couple of weeks now, haven't we? Because FIFA wanted another international break because it's been so long since the last one. That for me is the move. You put James Garner at right back, and then you only have to deal with the issue with the other full back.
Is there a case of you put Garner at right back and you have Dewsbury Hall a bit deeper next to Garner Gay and have Alcaraz potentially playing?
I mean, do you know what? That is a good way around it. Alcaraz today in that 45-minute cameo.
We talked about him actually. Sorry, we should have talked about him a bit more. He was really good, wasn't he?
Well, he's basically said he's come on the pitch today and said, "Why haven't I starting?" Yeah. And that's all. I mean, that's all you can ask from him. It's a very sort of professional way to do it. You think he hasn't had much game time this season, has he? So he's probably like a bit frustrated that we've signed him and then signed all these other lads in his position. But I thought he was tremendous today. I thought he was so good, so positive. Like Rob said earlier, he's not a big physical guy, Alcaraz, but he was a presence. He was in their faces. He was pressing, and he made things happen. And I think he has to start at City. Obviously, that's a bit of a free hit of a game, like what City are like. But for me, I think you could be onto something having Dewsbury Hall dropping a bit deeper because he is a good footballer. He can get his foot on the ball and find the passes. So, David Moyes, if you're listening, that's your lineup.
I mean, I'm just dumbfounded by the idea of Moyes listening to the Blue Room post-match now.
He definitely fall asleep midway through, wouldn't he?
I think he probably listened to the 5-minute fan bit at the start, and then when we started talking, he just fucked it off. And fair play to you, Moyes.
He stays on for the sign-offs.
Yeah.
Moyes, if you're listening, we're going to do a Keith sign-off today. So
I think he heard about the Scottish one.
Somebody thought I was Welsh.
People said you're Irish as well. I've seen that. Yeah.
Just Celtic of form.
Celtic mongrel.
On Alcaraz, I think there's to go back to it, Moisey. Sorry. There's a bit of an unspoken affinity between him and the crowd, isn't there? In terms is it? Kale is always the one that gets lashed into this role of plays in the space, isn't technically brilliant, but kind of really makes games difficult for opposition, and kind of is that spark and that difference between kind of relatively mediocre 1-1 and making the whole second half really aggressive and being able to get a really positive result from it. He lacks finesse on the ball, his passing at times is erratic, his touch isn't great, but he's a real headache, and I'm maybe doing him a bit of a disservice there. I don't think he's quite in the Beto realm of just like constant smash and grab and see what I can win from every dropping ball, but he certainly makes things happen. And I think the thing we were lacking in the first half was someone in Ndai's position to get on that ball in between the central two and the striker, to get on the half turn and kind of look forward and take us forward. And Denbigh is possibly not the man for that, and we got a lot more joy out of him personally when we moved him out wide. And I think we've probably seen enough today to know that particular experiment is not going to work. So, I know it's only 45 minutes, but we are looking at shoehorning that lad into the side now to see, can we, as much as Keith says, Man City's not the games to start experimenting against, but when we do have Spurs and Sunderland and Fulham, and there are games there where we can possibly nick a result, is Alcaraz the one to be that difference maker? That's what he's been signed for my money, that he is in this Everton team to be the difference maker between a draw and a loss, or a draw and a victory. The fullback issue is massive for me, mainly because we've, regardless of whether the manager's here for the next 15 years or the next 15 months, he likes to play in a way that involves his fullbacks when he's going forward. And the entire team looks really limited going forward at the moment. When I appreciate it got to fever pitch today, and when the game lost its control, it probably favoured Everton. But for that first hour where both teams are trying to play the football, we looked weak. And a lot of it going forward was because we've got a centre half and a really poor left back in those full back positions. Moyes has forever relied on two full backs who can get up and down the pitch, and when given the opportunity can deliver a decent ball into the box. Jake O'Brien, we all have a sympathy for him, in that he is doing a role that we've asked him to do that does not come naturally to him. His one-on-one defending has been questionable in the last couple of weeks, and that's why we've all thought maybe this experiment isn't going to work. But regardless, those fullbacks, they're not getting to the byline, they're not linking up with the wingers very well, and when they've got the chance to get the ball into the box, it's really poor. And we'll make more affordability for O'Brien because of the fact that he's not a fullback. But we were talking about priorities walking back from Bramley Moor into town today. Absolutely fullbacks for me, and I think David Moyes will have that at the forefront of his mind, because we've got players in other problem positions like centre forward who can do a job, and they'll carry us through until the end of the season when we can start looking at this again. But we absolutely need functioning right and left backs who can get involved in attacking build-up play. David Moyes likes this set up that much that he made Joleon Lescott do it. He absolutely demands that his fullbacks get up and connect with players, and we said it again at half time today, and we have done for the last few weeks, and Jack Grealish looks absolutely terrified to kick the ball anywhere near Vitaly Mykolenko, because he thinks this is either going to come straight back at me, or my team's not going to see this ball again. And the entire build-up is just so limited. And if you defend Vitaly Mykolenko,
I was just going to say, we can laugh about it now because we've won, but Mykolenko running forward in the first half.
I was going to say, the first half was that bad. That was our outlet.
I've played footy before, and I've had panic moments, but you don't just boot the ball into the river.
When he ran forward, I just kicked it out for a goal kick as soon as people got close to him. That was for a professional football to do. That was unbelievable. Keith.
Just going to say, bear in mind when Joleon Lescott was shoehorned into left back, he kept Leighton Baines out of the team for nigh on a season.
Yeah.
I think it's very telling, the difference with Grealish since Mykolenko's come back at left back. Because you look at that first game of the season against Brighton, where Grealish was unplayable. Watch some of his link-up play with James Garner. And he trusted him with the ball. He knew where his run was going to be. And obviously he found him for the second goal. And then Mykolenko, since he's come back, I will say for Mikalenko, he was a lot better second half when the game went a bit here and scare him. And he did get forward well, and he had a few times where he went round the outside. And he just needs somebody to hammer that into him, that's what he has to do, not just, like you say, have an anxiety attack and leather the ball into the river. Good grief. That has to be the most audible groan I've ever heard. Nobody even shouted fuck off or anything. Everyone just went, oh,
it was very Tony
what?
Hibbert, wasn't it? That?
Mikalenko just sprinted back into position. I was like, are we not going to stop and acknowledge what just happened here?
Oh god, right. Let's wrap it up there anyway. The Blues have won 7th in the league.
Joe, the most mesmerising part of looking at the league table is that we all spoke long and hard about this in the week, about how Crystal Palace have been so good this season. Incredible unbeaten run, trophies everywhere, seemingly in playing in Europe. We're 1 point behind them. 1 point behind them in the league.
Can I just say I'm glad Mateta had his really good day last weekend and a real off day today. And the one Jacob Ryan cleared off the line.
That was a great bit of play from O'Brien.
It was, but he should have done better those ones. Fantastic.
Keith, do you want to do the Blue Room sign off for today?
Yeah. I mean,
settle yourself in, Moisey.
Yeah, there we go. Pour yourself a novel of Freud and enjoy this.
That's a hell of a whiskey choice. Just basically imagine for 1 second rocking up at Bramley Moor, the Hill Dickinson Stadium, and thinking that your long unbeaten run was not going to be stolen from your grasp by a man who looks like he eats crayons. Take your drums, take your tifos, take your eagle, and fuck off up those toffees.